session with City Council President Terry Weld, who's running, and with Meet the Candidates, this is an opportunity for Terry to let everybody get to know him. So Terry, thank you so much for coming today.
Good morning.
And I would, first question is can you give a little background to the people about yourself?
Sure. I've lived in Eau Claire for the majority of my life, pretty much since 1970. I am a graduate of UW Stout, and over the last 30 plus years have been both self-employed as a business owner and also as a real estate agent.
Okay.
And I guess love this city and I've been a part of it and want to continue to be a part of it for as long as I can.
Okay. Well, being that you're the council president and are up for re-election to that, what made you get interested in getting into the city council?
Yeah, it began in 2011 for me, actually. I was asked to seek a position on the Plan Commission. And so I was appointed to that and enjoyed that for 6 years, 3 of those years as the Plan Commission chair, and it really sparked my interest in governing and the idea of it at a local level, and I really became interested in the whole process of what that was like, and so an opportunity arose when Councilmember Eric Larson resigned. And there was a position open that the council was looking to appoint a new council member, and I was fortunate enough to be appointed then. And then that was 3 years ago, and so it's just continued to evolve, and I continue to enjoy it every day.
So give me a little idea of why the presidency. What drove you to want to take on that position?
I think it was, just an opportunity at the time that I felt I would be best utilized. I really felt like we had a great council and a diverse council, and I think my role as being a community leader and over the past 30 years and a business leader and involved in a lot of other organizations, I just felt like this would be a good position for me and allow me to I guess bring a leadership element to the council. So.
Well, in that leadership role, you must know that there's probably a lot of burning issues to always take care of, but what are the top 3 for you to try to accomplish in the next year or so?
So yeah, for 2020, affordable and healthy and safe housing is up on top of that list, and will continue to be there. I know it's well on its way of at least coming up with ideas and solutions, and I know that we'll continue to work on that throughout the years to come. Our budget constraints and obviously a challenge to a growing community to be able to meet the needs of everyone, to create a level of service that we would hope for and expect is difficult when you're limited as to the amount of money that you have to make that happen. So we're going to continue to work hard on that, and I guess maximize our every dollar that we can, and find solutions to making it more sustainable moving forward. We also have a position open in our city manager's office, so that will be a part of our day and time. I guess the hiring and search process for a new city manager. We're going to, I guess, work collectively with our community partners, with staff, with the community itself, to try and make it an inclusive process, a positive process, and And we're excited to work through that opportunity, and also very appreciative of City Manager Peters, and happy for him in his new role as a retiree. And I know he's after 30 plus years, he's looking forward to a chance to enjoy it. So
and that's always nice for people to get to that point where they can do that.
exactly.
In looking at some of the challenges right now, not affordable housing, but some of the constraints that come on, do you see areas of local control that are going away, or we want to encourage to have more of going statewide to say that we need to have some choices for ourselves as a city, because every community, every city is different, no matter what. So,
Right.
do you see any of those concerns coming up at all?
Well, I don't know if we can pause here for
Sure.
a second. Maybe could you give me an example of what you're?
Just the fact that a lot of times it's in the news and everything else about how we want to have more local control on things that have to be monitored for what is your or our community needs. And I just hear about that a lot. And I don't know what we've lost, because nobody's ever been told what was lost, or what things you think are things that would be better monitored and made decisions of for at the Eau Claire level rather than a state level. Is there any of those things out there? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a lot that I can speak to.
Okay.
Obviously our budget, the levy limits that the state puts on us, the inabilities to fund, the needs and the staffing needs that we have in our community. It makes it a challenge for us and everybody across the state. And, but looking at, other services that, I think we, at a point, it will come down to what is the state willing to help us with.
Right.
If we're not going to be able to have the funding to support the needs, then what is the state going to help and contribute to in the future, looking ahead? So
I was going to ask you one thing too. Is, like everything else, it seems like there's mandates. I know that the county has mandates that come down from the capital. Does a city have mandates that have to be done?
I guess not often, if they are. The majority of the initiatives and work is generated from the council and the needs of the city itself. We try and be a good partner to the county and to the state, and support their wishes. And but at the same time, our representation is here to the people of Eau Claire, and we are, first and foremost going to work towards, what their needs are.
And the reason I asked that, Terry, was sometimes in trying to educate everybody on what's the difference between your city council and your county board or your school board. The fine lines that they cross and other things, but really trying to encourage people to start to identify on what it is that each one can actually do something about. And sometimes it's not within your purview to even, it's not, you don't have control of that one.
Sure.
And so part of what I'm trying to find out from even the county candidates is that very thing. What differentiates you?
Yeah, a couple of good examples. The wind farms that are being proposed, for the county, and then a couple of the towns within our county, and so there's something that is really a role of the town boards and the county. And as much as we can maybe offer some sort of support if it's necessary, it's those types of situations that really are not a part of our authority. And so and along with our school board too, I mean, it really is a completely separate entity, and certainly as with the county, we're supportive, we're partners, we're all working for the same goal and the good of the people, and I think that, and we're all fighting for those dollars too, to make sure that we can do all of those things, and so, but in the end, I think we all work well together and support each other, and I'm certain that's going to continue.
Okay.
So.
And I have to say that I've seen that collaboration since we do all the different meetings. It really is a good collaboration that's going on, and that's sometimes a rarity in business.
It's important, and again, being respectful of our neighboring towns and villages, and understanding that they have their independence as well, and that we're mindful of that, and and again with our school board, if we can provide help where they need it, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you kind of a thing that happens is, what kinds of stumbling blocks do you see that may be out there for you to have to conquer in the next 18 to 20 months? And I know fiscal responsibility is huge, but there's also a lot of anytime we're trying to talk about entrepreneurship and all those things, there is a limit that the city can actually help with. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts on is that a measurable thing? Is that a thing that you can put into a structure that would give a little more idea of this is how much assistance we can really provide?
Yeah, I mean, eventually, it comes down to dollars, and what's available, and what how we can help. But economic development is a big part of our role as a community, and the recruitment and retention of our existing businesses, and hopefully new businesses. The recruitment and retention of the talent too, and our graduates that are finishing school here, whether it's at the tech or the university. I mean, those are all things that we need to be on top of and be a part of. It's continually a challenge for us to create an environment that is inviting to those employers, and that's what we've worked so hard on and really been successful at, is creating that quality of life, that culture that not only is an employer looking at us as a piece of land, but also a place that they know that their employees are going to enjoy and want to be a part of, this community, this city, and so I think that along with trying to create higher wages for our community, finding employers and that support a living wage, so that that we can all enjoy and live in the city that we support and work in, and so that continually is an ongoing goal, and will be for always, more than likely.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess the old adage is, if you're just trying to stay on neutral, you're really falling behind. You have to be ahead.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's what we've really been so good at, is not sitting still, not taking anything for granted, and just continuing to push on and push forward, and that's that's what this council does. That's what our staff does. That's what this community wants, and I think we're really, really good at it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time this morning, and I really wanted the people to get to know you, because it's always difficult to, number one, Yes,
Sure.
we have them watch this stuff, but at the same time, I think it's really important for them to understand that anybody in those positions, number one, public service is a heck of a commitment to provide. The other is that the jobs aren't as simple as a yes and a no. There's so much more to it, and that's part of our responsibility. This station here is to help educate that. So at any point in time, if you guys need our helps to do other things, let us know. 'Cause
Sure.
we can.
And we certainly appreciate all that Valley Media does in your work and providing that transparency for the community to be able to see and be a part of what we do in our meetings. And I appreciate you bringing up the public service part of it, because that is something too that is on our list of to-dos, is to get more people engaged and involved and to participate, whether at a board or a committee or a commission level, and finding a way to serve our community and to give back, to let their voice be heard, and all those things I think are something that we're working hard on to increase that engagement. So.
And I do agree with you that being able to get that out there, because anybody who's been in public service also knows it's infectious. It is one of those things that every time you see there's just one other rock that needs to be turned to find out what more can I do in this situation.
Yeah. So that's my story too.
Yeah.
Right? It really has just continued
Yes.
to grow for me too. So.
Well, I really want to thank you so much.
All right, yeah, thank you.
And want you to, this is an opportunity for you to, even though you're unopposed, kind of, I let everybody have their chance to kind of give their pitch of, why is it that you would like them to vote for you and what you feel you can bring.
Mm-hmm. I think that, having some continuity, we've had some turnover, over the past 3 years in our council, and I'm really excited that, for the next 16 months, we'll be able to all stay together and work together. We'll have one new council member coming on, and certainly, for me, there's still an election on April 7th, and I need to be, elected as the council president. But if all goes well, that will happen, and we'll have that time together to continue to grow and mature and to learn and continue to work together. It's a really hardworking council, a really energetic council, and I'm just really appreciative to be a part of that, and look forward to helping in any way that I can. Guiding and being there as a resource or just lending a helpful hand when necessary. And I hope that the community is will continue to support me and our work, and look forward to them voting on April 7th for everything. So.
And I appreciate that plug, because I really think it's so important that everybody get out and vote.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's really hard to complain if you don't go out and vote.
That's right. And it's hard when we don't see the high numbers of turnout. And because it is such an important responsibility that we have, and it really does make a difference.
Yes, it does.
It does, and it's important. So. Get out and vote.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You have a great day now.
Yeah, you too.
And we will see you at April 7th.
Sounds great.
Okay.